Hello, everyone. This is Steve Risser from Sports Talk with RKJ, and today I have your Week 1 preview in the NFL. We will start in Chicago for the opening game as the Bears and Packers square off in the opening game of the season. And this should be a really interesting opening game because you got the two young coaches squaring off, Matt LaFleur in his first year, Matt Nagy in his second year, and this should be a really exciting matchup. I think in this game that Chicago is going to really have a lot of success running the football. Green Bay does not have a great run defense. I think Trubisky's going to have a good game, good statistical game too. And I also think though the Green Bay Packers are going to have a good game on offense. I think they unveiled Matt LaFleur's new offense. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a really good game. I think he's going to have a big game. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a big game. I think the difference in this game though is the running game of Chicago. Chicago will have a really good running game. Green Bay won't because Chicago does a really good job stopping the run, and I think Chicago makes that one play on defense to win this game. Chicago is a 3-point favorite in this game. I'm taking them, and I'm taking them -3 to beat the Packers. I'm going 31-27 Bears over the Packers in Week 1. I think this should be a great game, but I think the Bears pull it off close, 31-27. We'll now head to Cleveland for the long anticipated opening game for Odell Beckham with the Cleveland Browns, and I think the Browns are in good shape in this game. I think they're going to have success running the football because Tennessee does not stop the run well at all. I think that's going to help Baker Mayfield off play action. I think Odell Beckham's going to have a good game. I think that Jarvis Landry's going to have a good game. I think their offense will have a good game. I think defensively, the biggest issue for the Titans in this game is that Taylor Lewan is suspended for the first 4 games of the season. He's going to be suspended for this game. And I like the Browns' 2 pass rushers. I like Myles Garrett and I like Olivier Vernon. And I think Myles Garrett has a big game, has a really, really big game on Sunday. I think he gets pressure on Marcus Mariota. And I think the Browns win this game. I think Derrick Henry gets his yards because the Browns don't have a great run defense, and linebacker is the weakness of the Browns defense. So Derrick Henry, I think he gets about maybe 70 to 80 yards rushing. Titans may have over 100 yards rushing, but at the end of the day, I think not having Taylor Lewan and the Browns having success running the football on offense is the difference in this game. And I'm going to go 28-17 Browns to win their opening game with Odell Beckham. Next, we are going to head to Philadelphia for an NFC East matchup between the Eagles and the Redskins. And I think the Eagles are going to have even though Carson Wentz did not play at all in the preseason, I think he has a good game on Sunday. And the Eagles get that running game going with Myles Garrett and Jordan Howard. And I think that opens things up for the passing game with Zach Ertz. I think Landon Collins is going to have trouble covering Zach Ertz all game long. I think, Alshon Jeffrey could have a big game as well. I think the Eagles offense is really, really efficient on Sunday against the Redskins. The Redskins defense is pretty good. And the one concern in this game for the Eagles offense is at left tackle with Jason Peters. Ryan Kerrigan is probably going to give Jason Peters fits all day and get pressure on Carson Wentz, but I don't think that's going to be enough to stop this Eagles offense in this game. I think they're going to be able to run the football. I think that Zach Ertz is going to have a big game. I think Alshon Jeffrey is going to have a big game. It seems like him and Wentz are on the same page going into the season. And I think on the defensive side of the ball, the biggest issue for the Redskins is going to be Trent Williams' holdout. I think Derek Barnett or Brandon Graham is going to get pressure on Case Keenum. You know what you're getting with out of Fletcher Cox. He's going to have a big game. And I think they might be able to run the ball, have a little bit of success running the ball with Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis, but it won't be enough success. And the Eagles as an 8.5 point favorite, I'm taking them. And I'm taking the points. I'm having them. I got them covering, and I got them winning the game. I got the Eagles winning this game, 31-27. We'll head down to Jacksonville for an AFC matchup between the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think this is a really interesting game because you look at Jacksonville. I think a lot of people are going to be taking Jacksonville. Looking at the line, Jacksonville is getting 4 points at home, so it's really close. This is a really tough game to pick, but I'm taking Kansas City. I'm taking them covering the spread and winning the game. I think Jacksonville's defense is really good, but I think Kansas City is going to get enough in the running game in this game. I think McCoy and Damian Williams are going to be competent in the run game, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have another big game. I know the Jaguars have a great pass rush with Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, and Josh Allen, they took with the number 7 overall pick, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to stop Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce all have big games. But I also think on the flip side, Leonard Fournette has a really big game. I think he rushes for over 100 yards because the Kansas City's run defense is very weak. I think Leonard Fournette rushes for over 100 yards, which sets up play action for Nick Foles. And I think Nick Foles has a good game in his opening game with the Jaguars. But at the end of the day, I think the difference is Mahomes is going to be the difference over Nick Foles. And I think that the Chiefs win this game. I'm going to go 31-26 Kansas City over Jacksonville. We'll head up to Minnesota for the Falcons and the Vikings, and this should be a really, really competitive game. I mean, I think you look at Minnesota, I think they're going to have more success running the ball than they did last year. I think they're going to have success running the ball in this game between Alexander Mattison and Dalvin Cook, Brandon Kubiak to improve the running game. I think Minnesota has a lot of success running the football in this game. Atlanta, even though they're going to have guys back, they're going to have Keanu Neal and Deion Jones back. They don't have a great run defense. We know Deion Jones is a really good linebacker, but he's better against the pass than he is against the run. So I think that Minnesota is going to have success running the ball. We all know Kirk Cousins plays really, really well in 1 o'clock games. He does a really good job. He plays really well. Not in primetime games, but in 1 o'clock games, Kirk Cousins plays well. I think the offensive line might have some issues in protection because it's not a good offensive line at all. But I still think the run game is going to help cover up the offensive line deficiency of the Vikings. I think they're going to be able to run the ball with success. I think Cousins off play action is going to get the ball to Diggs, Thielen, and you'll see a lot of 2 tight end sets with Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith. So I think Cousins is going to be able to get the ball off to those guys. And on defense, I think they're going to be able to get pressure on Matt Ryan, especially on the right side. Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin could get pressure on Matt Ryan. I think the Falcons might have success running the ball with Devontae Freeman. But at the end of the day, I think that with the Vikings being at home, they are a 3.5 point favorite. I don't have them covering. I'm taking Atlanta with the 3.5. But I think Minnesota wins the game. I got them beating the Falcons at home 23-20. We'll head back up east to the Meadowlands as the Bills visit the Jets in an AFC East matchup, and I think Sam Darnold, I think the key is going to be his breakout year. I think he was the best quarterback. The last 4 games of the season, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And the biggest thing is going to be, how is Le'Veon Bell going to be in his debut? He could either be great like he was in Pittsburgh. He could either be in the middle, kind of in the middle, decent, or he could be absolutely terrible, and look like he hasn't played in a year. I think he's going to be somewhere in the middle. I think he's going to get some yards rushing, get some receiving yards, but I think Sam Darnold is much improved. I think he has a good game. I think he has a good game. I know the Bills have a decent defense, but I think Sam Darnold has a good game. He throws a couple touchdown passes. And on defense, I think the Jets are able to contain the running game, the Bills' running game, with Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, and TJ Yeldon. I think they're able to contain the Bills' running game. I think the one issue for the Jets defense, though, is outside pass rush, which is going to give Josh Allen time, and their corners, which I think that's why I think the Bills will still be able to, Josh Allen will still be able to move the ball a little bit on that offense. But I think the difference in this game will be the fact Sam Darnold will make less mistakes than Josh Allen. I think it's a close, competitive game, but I'm taking the Jets. They are a 3-point favorite. I got them covering, and I got them winning the game 27-20 over the Bills. An interesting matchup in Carolina as the Rams travel down to Charlotte to face the Panthers. And I don't know how healthy Cam Newton is going to this game. I heard he was able to take part in practice on Tuesday. I don't know how healthy Cam Newton is going to be in this game. And that's definitely going to be a big question mark for the Panthers. Also, on the other side, I think the Rams offense could struggle in this game. But I think the Panthers run defense could contain Todd Gurley. You don't know what kind of Todd Gurley we're going to see this year. Are we going to see the Todd Gurley for most of the season, or see the Todd Gurley from the postseason? So that's going to be a question. The Rams offensive line, I don't know if it's as good this year with the losses of Roger Stafford and John Sullivan and Andrew Whitworth getting old. So that's definitely going to be a question mark going into the game. So I think, and we all know Jared Goff isn't as good of a quarterback under pressure, but I think the biggest difference in this game and why I think the Rams are going to win is I think Sean McVay and Jared Goff, who just got a huge contract, are going to expose this Panthers secondary, and I think that they're going to be able to put up enough points with Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods are going to be able to put up enough points in this game I think the issue with the Panthers is I don't know how healthy Cam Newton's going to be, so that's going to limit Christian McCaffrey's production on the ground. I still think he'll be able to have a good game, a good day receiving, but that's going to limit McCaffrey's production on the ground. And I think Aaron Donald is one of the biggest different. The Rams pass rush with Aaron Donald and Dante Fowler, they are the biggest difference in this game. And I think the Rams win this game. I got the Rams as a 3-point favorite. Again, I got them covering and winning the game. I got the Rams winning 24-17 over the Panthers. Down in Miami, we got the Ravens traveling to Miami to face the Dolphins. And looking at some of the Dolphins' moves, a lot of people think they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. I think that too. But I also think the Ravens are not that good either. They lost 4 starters on defense. I think teams are going to figure out Lamar Jackson. And in this game, I think the Ravens are going to control this game on the ground. I think they're going to have success running the ball with Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards. I think Lamar Jackson is going to get his rushing yards too. But I don't think Lamar Jackson has a good day from the pocket. And I also think that Fitzpatrick will still make some plays. Fitzpatrick is a below-average quarterback, a journeyman, but I think he still can make some plays in games. I think he still makes some plays against this Ravens defense. But at the end of the day, I think the Ravens controlling the game. Yes, I think they're going to kick field goals, not score that many touchdowns. I think they'll be kicking field goals. But at the end of the day, I think the Ravens end up winning this game, and I think they win it 20-13 over the Dolphins. I think it's a competitive game, but I think the Ravens get the win. They're a 6.5-point favorite. I got them winning the game and covering. I got the Ravens winning this game 20-13 over the Dolphins. We are going to go on to on to the 4:00 games, and we'll start with my team, the Giants, heading down to Dallas to face the Cowboys. Before this game started, I was thinking about. I was thinking about taking the Giants. I was going to take the Cowboys to win the game, but I was thinking about taking the Giants to cover in this game. But with Ezekiel Elliott coming back, I think this is a really good matchup for the Cowboys. I think they're going to have success running the ball on this Giants defense, who didn't stop it was not good. It was not terrible stopping the run last year, but it was not good stopping the run last year. I think Ezekiel Elliott will have his way running the ball, which is going to open up play action for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys, I think, are going to control this game, be able to move the ball on the Giants defense. And then on the flip side, I think that the Cowboys, you remember last year when they played in week 2, we're not going to count the week 17 games that not all the starters played, and the Cowboys had everything clinched. So we're going to talk about the week 2 game last year. The Cowboys held Saquon Barkley to 28 yards rushing. I think they're able to contain Saquon Barkley again and hold him under 100 yards when you got linebackers like Jalen Smith, you got linebackers like Landon Vander Esch, you got a defensive lineman like DeMarcus Lawrence, who's going to get pressure on Eli Manning too, which he's kind of had Eli Manning's number the last couple of years. I think that the Cowboys defense contains Saquon Barkley. I think they control the game on the ground with Ezekiel Elliott, opening things up for Dak on play action. I think the Cowboys win this game, and I think they cover. They're a 7-point favorite. I think they win the game, and I think they cover. I got the Cowboys winning this game 27-17 Sunday afternoon in Dallas. We'll head down to Tampa for the Niners and the Buccaneers in an NFC interconference NFC matchup. And if looking at this game, you look at the Niners, I think they're going to have success running the ball with Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman. I think that's going to help Jimmy Garoppolo off play action. I think you look at some of the injuries. Obviously, the Bucs won't have Jason Pierre-Paul. They're not going to have Vita Vea. So I think the Niners going to have their way on the ground. I think the Bucs, because Nick Bosa is questionable on the defensive line. I think Jameis Winston gets his yards. I think Mike Evans has a big game and O.J. Howard does. But I think at the end of the day, the ground game of the Niners and getting some pressure with DeForest Buckner and getting pressure with D Ford makes the difference in this game. I think it's a close game. It's a pick 'em, but I got the Niners beating the Bucs in Tampa 30-24. We now head out to Arizona for Kyler Murray's opening game as the Lions come in to play the Cardinals. And I think the big difference in this game is the Lions' defensive line is definitely improved. Getting Trey Flowers, getting Mike Daniels. This defense isn't that bad. I don't love the relationship between Patricia and Stafford and Patricia, but I think this defense is really going to control this game. I think they're definitely going to get pressure on Kyler Murray. Arizona's offensive line is absolutely terrible, and I think that's really going to make the difference in this game. I don't think they're going to have the success running the ball with David Johnson. I think Detroit's defensive line controls this game, and I also think Detroit gets, because Arizona really they have their best player on defense suspended for the first 6 games, Patrick Peterson, and I think Arizona, yes, they did pick up Jordan Hicks, but Arizona's run defense is still going to struggle. And I think Kerryon Johnson and CJ Anderson have big games, and I think Detroit wins this game. They're a 2.5 point favorite. I got them covering and winning this game. I got Detroit winning this game 24-14 in Arizona. The Chargers host the Colts on Sunday afternoon in LA, and I think this game is a little bit closer than people think. I think the loss of Derwin James is a huge loss for the Chargers defense. They're not going to have Melvin Gordon, so that's going to keep their defense off the field. So they're not going to have as much success running the ball. They also want to have Russell Okung. So I don't care who's on the defensive line for the Colts. They're definitely going to, and then Justin Houston and D'Amico Autry are playing, so they're going to pressure Phillip Rivers. So, I mean, I think the Colts have some success on the ground with Marlon Mack. Even though Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback, I think they have success on the ground with Marlon Mack. I think Mack has a big game, and I think he goes for over 100 yards. So, and that'll help Jacoby Brissett play action. And I think on the flip side, I think that Phillip Rivers has a good game. I think he still has a really good game, even without Melvin Gordon, and I don't think they're going to get a great run game, but I still think with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and that's the one weakness of the Colts defense is that secondary. I think that could very easily get exposed. I think they can get a defensive touchdown off a Jacoby Brissett mistake in this game. I think the biggest difference in this game is going to be the quarterback. I think Phillip Rivers is clearly better than Jacoby Brissett, even though I think the Colts are going to be able to run the ball better. I think they're going to protect their quarterback better. I think the biggest difference in the game is the quarterback play of the quarterbacks. There's the two quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett, and I think that the Chargers win this game. And I'm going to go 28-20 Chargers over the Colts. They're a 7-point favorite, so I got them covering the spread, but I'm going 28-20 Chargers over the Colts this week. We have the Bengals traveling up to Seattle to face the Seahawks, and I think this could be the blowout of the week. I think with the Seahawks addition of Jadeveon Clowney, the Bengals offensive line is in shambles. Jonah Williams, their number one pick, he's out for the season. The Bengals will be without A.J. Green too, so you could pretty much focus on Joe Mixon. I don't think he'll have a good day running the football. I think Seattle's going to do whatever they want on offense. The Bengals, outside of Geno Atkins, the Bengals defense is absolutely terrible. I think Seattle's going to have success running the ball with Rashawn Penny and Chris Carson. I think Russell Wilson has a big game, and I think the Seahawks win this game big. I think Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to impact the Seahawks in the run game and get into the quarterback. Yes, he hasn't had over 10 sacks in a season, but remember, this is the first time since college he's going to be playing 4-3 defensive end instead of 3-4 outside linebacker. So I think that the Seahawks win this game, and I think the Seahawks win this game big. I'm going 34-17 Seattle over Cincinnati. The Sunday night game features the Steelers and the Pats, and yes, the Pats are a 6-point favorite, but I do have the Steelers covering. I think the Pats still win the game, but I think the Steelers cover the spread. I look at the Steeler team. I really, really like the front seven with Cam Hayward, with T.J. Watt, with Bud Dupree, and with their rookie, who potentially could be the defensive rookie of the year in Devin Bush. The way he can cover, the way he can stop the run. I think he's going to play a big impact in this game. I think he's going to help limit the Pats running game, and also the Pats running game is not going to be as good because they won't have David Andrews, who's a really, really good center. That's a loss in that. That's going to be a huge loss for the Patriots this year. They did get Russell Bodine, but I think David Andrews is going to definitely be a loss for the Patriots this year. I don't think they're going to have that much success running the ball. I don't think they run the ball for over 100 yards in this game. And I think the Steelers, yes, I think the Pats defense contains James Conner, but I think Big Ben makes some plays in this game. He gets the ball to Juju Smith. He gets the ball to Juju in the game. Either James Washington or Dante Moncrief step up. So I think the Steelers move the ball, but as we all know, Brady, the Steelers don't beat Brady in Foxborough, and I think that trend continues on Sunday night. Even though I think it's a really close game, I'm going because I think the Patriots, even though they won't have N'Keal Harry, they still have Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, and Philip Dorsett, and Brady makes all those guys really good. And for the game, I'm going Patriots 24, Steelers 20. So I think it's a really competitive game. I got the Steelers. I don't have the Patriots covering. I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers +6, but I'm picking the Steelers to cover the spread, but the Patriots to win the game. I got the Patriots 24-20 Sunday night in Foxborough. We'll wrap up talking about the Monday night games, and we'll start with the Texans going to New Orleans to visit the Saints. You look at the Texans, they traded Jadeveon Clowney. They ended up trading for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills. Laramie Tunsil is definitely an upgrade from what they had at left tackle, but it's still not a great player. They're still probably he's still in the middle of the pack in terms of left tackles in the NFL. And I still think Cameron, even though the Saints will probably be without Sheldon Rankins, I think that the pressure that Cameron Jordan is going to get on Deshaun Watson is going to make the difference. I think the Texans don't get a running game going. I think on the other side of the ball for the Saints, I think they're able to run the ball with Kamara, and not as well as they did last year, but I think they're still going to be able to get a running game going with Kamara and with Latavius Murray, and that's going to open up play action for Drew Brees to make plays with Michael Thomas and Jared Cook. And I still think in the Dome, the Saints put up over 30 points. I got the Saints putting up 31 in this game, and I got the Texans put up 21. I think that the Saints will be able to run the ball better than the Texans. I think the Saints will be able the Saints will be able to get pressure on the quarterback better than the Texans. And I think that'll be the difference in this game. And I got the Saints beating the Texans 31-21 Monday night in New Orleans. And our final game from Week 1 is between the Broncos visit Oakland to face the Raiders in an AFC West matchup. And I think in this game, I think it's a pick-em. It's going to be a really close game, and I think there's going to be a couple difference makers in the game. And I think it's going to be first the pressure that the Raiders are going to get on Derek Carr. I think the pressure without two of their starting guards, Richie Incognito and Gabe Jackson, will be out for the Raiders, and the pressure that Bradley Chubb and Von Miller are going to get on Derek Carr, that's going to be big, because I think the Raiders will be able to get a little bit of a running game with Josh Jackson. I think he might go for over 100 yards because the Broncos don't have a great run defense and don't have great inside linebackers. But I think the pressure is going to be the difference in this game, and I think another reason that the Broncos will win this game, I think they'll get the running game going with Phillip Lindsay. I think he goes for over 100 yards on the Raiders run defense, and it opens up play action for Joe Flacco. The Broncos are able to move the ball. They're going to be able to move the ball with success, and I think that they're going to win this game. It's going to be a really close, competitive game, but I think there's two things. The two biggest factors why the Broncos will be able to win the game is they'll be able to run the ball, and they'll be able to get pressure on Derek Carr. So I got the Broncos beating the Raiders on the road 27-24. That's going to wrap it up for our Week 1 preview. We'll be back next week with our preview of Week 2. And we'll be dropping this preview of Week 1 at 5 o'clock tonight. So we'll be back next week for our preview of Week 2, and we'll have our show again. Justin and Kyle will be back next week for another edition of Sports Talk with RKJ. So we hope you listen to the show at 5 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy Week 1.